Yeah, I think, like he said, he has the momentum, and yeah, he faced some good guys, and he won. He took them out, but like I said, I'm a whole different animal. So let's.
Feel the same as you did right when you left us, or is there a different dimension to you now?
There's definitely a different dimension because I feel better. I feel much better. I feel faster. I feel fitter. Yeah, it's just I don't know. This whole recovery process has brought me to a whole different dimension. So yeah, let's see how he.
Listen, it's a fighter, you know. I feel on the serious for this fight. My prepare the 100% discipline control, but 23 in May we look great fight.
During the press conference, Rico Verhoeven appeared extremely fired up and determined to increase the tension surrounding the situation, while Oleksandr Usyk remained cool, controlled, and fully collected. Rico's behavior reflected rising anger and intensity ahead of the clash, but Usyk stayed calm and mentally sharp, refusing to let the heated exchange affect his emotions or focus.
I definitely feel like I could give them a good challenge because I've trained with both of them. I know them inside out. So, but for now, the focus is on on this weekend.
Oleksandr Usyk talks in a calm and respectful manner, showing appreciation to everyone involved while describing Rico Verhoeven as a tough and highly dangerous opponent. He clearly explains that taking this fight is completely his personal choice and something he genuinely wants to pursue at this point in his career.
Listen, hi everyone. I'm very glad to be here. I'm very happy back in UK. You know, I missed a little bit. 6 months, yeah, last time. Thank you so much. Thank you organization who do this. Thank you Rico. Thank you Rico team. For me, it's a challenge. A lot of people say, "Why you chooses? You're not boxer." It's a great guy. It's a dangerous guy. You want, you know, please. One time, I wanna do what I want, not what need, because a lot of time I do what need another people, and you must, you have to boxing like this. You must boxing like this. I say, okay. Now I do what I need. Thank you. Listen, I love more boxing. My wife. Yes, but it's first. It's first. Listen, I love boxing because it's an instrument, you know. God give me a chance about boxing. Boxing help me look for friends, team, a lot of people who now, you know, we friendly now. We help each other. Boxing, for me.
Tony Bellew emphasizes how dangerous Rico Verhoeven is in kickboxing, but also points out that boxing is an entirely different sport where Oleksandr Usyk's intelligence, movement, and ability to adapt could begin to dominate after a few rounds. He believes Rico might face serious problems once Usyk starts understanding his timing, style, and overall rhythm inside the ring.
With him. If this was a kickboxing match, I'm trying to tell you, Alexander's in an awful lot of trouble. Do not take a kick off him. Thankfully for Oleksandr Usyk, this is a boxing match. And I think once them first 3 or 4 rounds pass, and that awkwardness and stance and style Oleksandr Usyk figures out, I think Rico could be in for a hard night's work.
I mean, someone's saying it could change boxing forever if he wins, Rico. How does Rico go about trying to solve that puzzle of Usyk?
It'd be the greatest shock boxing's ever seen. If Rico Verhoeven is to defeat Oleksandr Usyk, it will be the greatest victory in boxing history.
Rico Verhoeven describes his composed and strategic fighting approach, explaining that he only attacks when the perfect opportunity appears. He also talks about the transition from kickboxing to boxing, where his attention is now centered completely on punch combinations rather than using kicks. Rico believes his punching strength can create real damage, and he sounds highly motivated to adjust to pure boxing rules for this massive challenge against Oleksandr Usyk.
Always like very calculated, but yeah, when I connect, I connect. Like I said, there's a lot of weight behind these punches. So yeah, of course, within the kickboxing sport, I was used to just throwing the kicks and doing my thing, but now we get the opportunity to use the hands more. So Peter is like, oh, he's like crazy excited.
Oleksandr Usyk openly recognizes how massive this fight is and gives full respect to Rico Verhoeven as a dangerous and accomplished kickboxing champion. He understands that the event brings both entertainment and competitive value, but makes it clear that he is approaching it with total seriousness. Usyk highlights the importance of discipline, preparation, and a strict training routine, showing that he is treating this matchup with complete professional focus and intensity.
If Rico Verhoeven is to defeat Oleksandr Usyk, it will be the greatest victory in boxing history. Yes, it's the second professional fight on paper, but this is a guy whose second professional fight is against the undisputed, unified former cruiserweight champion of the world, the current undisputed unified heavyweight champion of the world. He's undefeated. Nobody has been able to touch this guy. It's peak Oleksandr Usyk. He's just defeated a man who's 20 stone and 6'9" in Tyson Fury twice. He's just defeated a record machine in Daniel Dubois who was on the run of his life. This isn't a guy who's washed up having a comeback fight against somebody. This is a guy in his peak and in his prime. Put that into perspective. If Rico Verhoeven is to do this, it's off the Richter scale. This is bigger than Buster Douglas knocking out Mike Tyson. That's how big this is. This would be the greatest shock in boxing history.
Tony Bellew explains the enormous scale of this matchup by focusing on Oleksandr Usyk's dominance against top-level heavyweight opponents. He points to Usyk's victories over huge and dangerous fighters such as Tyson Fury and Daniel Dubois to demonstrate how unbeatable he has appeared during his prime years. Bellew makes it clear that Rico Verhoeven is entering an entirely different level of competition, where defeating Usyk would immediately rank among the biggest upsets in boxing history because of Usyk's already proven elite greatness.
Not a fight I am a massive fan of, and now that I'm free, now that I can kind of, be more open about my opinions on this fight, I fucking hate this fight. I can't stand it. I understand the circus nature of it in terms of like big name kickboxer, one of the best of all time, if not the best of all time, coming in to fight an all-time great in the boxing face in his sport. We saw it with Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury. The only difference there was, I think, more fans of Francis Ngannou, more of a what-if factor because of his punching power and because Fury was 550 pounds in that fight. Accurate, not even exaggerating. We got a masterpiece in terms of what Francis did to the current heavyweight champion of the world. Now, this is a little different because Oleksandr Usyk is a massively different operator than Tyson Fury. He is a far better technical boxer than anyone at heavyweight, and he isn't really susceptible to one-punch KO power the same way Fury is when he comes in out of shape and blubbery. Now, is there the off chance that Rico catches Oleksandr Usyk? Yeah, sure. I understand. It's a fight. Anything can happen. But why is the WBC heavyweight champion of the world not just taking a recess from fighting the biggest and best boxers on the planet when he is the sitting champion, but also putting his title on the line to fight a kickboxer with one professional boxing match in his career? That's the big...
Simon Jordan looks at the fight mainly from a business and promotional perspective, suggesting that Oleksandr Usyk's decision to accept this match is strongly connected to the massive commercial value surrounding the event. He compares it to other major crossover fights that attracted worldwide attention and generated huge financial success across combat sports. Jordan explains that modern boxing has evolved into a mix of elite competition and entertainment spectacle, where global exposure and pay-per-view interest play a major role. He believes fights like this are often designed not just around rankings or sporting merit, but around creating headlines, expanding audiences, boosting promotion, and delivering enormous financial rewards for everyone involved.
Little space, and I can see how the monetization vehicle of this works, but Usyk wouldn't be doing this unless there's a reason for it. There must be a motivation behind it. It must be some form of derivative as to what happened between the various disciplines crossing over with Ngannou.
Peter Fury explains that organizing this fight became much simpler because both Oleksandr Usyk and Rico Verhoeven genuinely wanted the challenge from the beginning. He speaks with strong respect about their mentality, describing both men as true warriors who are always willing to test themselves at the highest possible level. Fury believes that when elite competitors with strong reputations and fearless attitudes come together with mutual interest, making a crossover event of this magnitude is far less complicated than people imagine. He also suggests that the willingness from both sides removed many of the usual obstacles involved in negotiations, allowing the fight to develop naturally into a massive global attraction for combat sports fans everywhere.
That he's kind of earned the right to do what you want, but I at least expected it to be some sort of active boxer, someone of some... Not to say I don't actually know much about Verhoeven in terms of a kickboxer of what his quality level is, but what I'm saying is I expected it to be someone of a decent caliber of a professional boxer. But if it's not, then fine. Look, do your thing, do you, and hopefully he returns to actual professional boxing against some of the top elites.
Liam Gaff heavily criticizes the legitimacy of the fight, describing it as more of a publicity stunt than a true championship contest. He questions how Rico Verhoeven has managed to receive an opportunity at such a high level despite having very limited experience in professional boxing. Gaff compares Rico's boxing background to Oleksandr Usyk's position as the top heavyweight fighter in the world, emphasizing the massive gap in proven achievement between the two men. He argues that matchups like this create major concerns regarding fairness, competitive integrity, and the credibility of title-level boxing. In his view, elite championship opportunities should be earned through consistent success inside the boxing ring rather than crossover fame or entertainment value alone.
This is a joke. This is nothing but a gimmick fight, and it's even more shameless considering the fact, one, it's on pay-per-view, and two, it's for the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the world. Does Rico Verhoeven, with his one win over a decade ago against the guy who was 0-5, deserve a world title shot? Answers on a postcard. Can you play the recorder? No. That's the answer. This is shocking. Shocking stuff from Oleksandr Usyk. This is Oleksandr Usyk picking money. Picking money over legacy.
Rico Verhoeven recognizes Oleksandr Usyk's supremacy in boxing and draws a comparison with his own long-standing dominance in kickboxing. He expresses clear admiration for Usyk's accomplishments and points out how consistently he has ruled at the very top of the sport. Rico presents this possible showdown as the biggest test of his entire career, calling it the final highlight and cherry on top moment of his journey in combat sports.
And Oleksandr Usyk is the Rico Verhoeven in boxing.
Yeah.
So like he's been dominating for so long and in such phenomenal fashion. So I was like, wow, if we could do this, that would be like the cherry on the cake.
Fabio Wardley reacts to the announcement of Oleksandr Usyk potentially facing Rico Verhoeven with a measured but noticeably doubtful outlook. He agrees that Usyk has absolutely earned the freedom to pick and choose his opponents after establishing himself at the pinnacle of boxing, yet he personally anticipated a more conventional contender coming directly from the current active heavyweight rankings. Wardley openly admits that he is not fully familiar with Verhoeven's boxing ability, but he suggests that moving straight from a kickboxing background into a world title-level boxing environment feels somewhat out of place at this stage of Usyk's career. Even so, he avoids any disrespect toward Usyk's decision and accepts it as part of the modern evolution of combat sports, where crossover bouts and entertainment-driven matchups are becoming increasingly normal. However, his closing thought makes his stance clear, as he expresses a preference for Usyk to eventually return to facing the top-ranked active heavyweights who have been patiently waiting for their opportunity, in order to preserve the traditional competitive order and maintain the sport's credibility.